everybody. Welcome to the Season 1 epilogue of Shady Shadows over Shadowshade. This is going to be a brief session just to tie things up. It would have possibly been the very end of this game, but kind of by popular demand, I think it probably will continue in some months from now. I'm not exactly sure when, but I can absolutely envision a season 2 continuing these people's sagas. So let's get started. So when you all start to awaken, it is raining and windy and cold, and you're in various states of consciousness and semi-consciousness. And the first one to wake, most likely, is Wrecker, and Colette is tending to you, and you're like under a tree, and you notice Matthias lying next to you, also pretty banged up.
Would immediately jerk awake, swinging at the air, and I don't think I ever gave my wife a name.
Now's a great time.
Yeah, first thing, pretty much when he jerks awake, it'd just be the first thing out of his mouth. He'd just go, Elizabeth!
And she kind of puts her hand up in surprise reaction to your sort of almost violent response, and she says, Wrecker, it's me, Colette, calm down.
God, my skin, it burned.
Yes, just lie still. I'm trying to put something on it.
The others, why are they not dead?
Because I pulled you out in time.
He looks angered when she says that. And then
disappointed that they're alive.
Well, you remember his whole purpose is he wanted to go out in the blaze of glory. Because,
she doesn't know that.
Yeah, I know. But his look of anger quickly turns to one confusion, and he's like, how did you survive?
She, her smile kind of fades, and she said, I ran before everything went wrong. But I came back after the flame beast, or whatever that was, left.
Look and nod affirmingly very weakly. Good thing you did. I should hold still. Let her do a thing.
Yep. I would say, Otto, you probably wake up next. You're getting pelted with rain.
And what is am I burnt, or I'm just beaten, or?
I don't think you got burned. Matthias got a little bit burned. Wrecker got pretty badly burned. The other two of you you got beaten about.
So was it with a claw? I'm just trying to figure out his.
Yeah. Yes, you were clawed.
Okay, so Otto. He's just like moaning as he kind of like rolls over to his side and kind of like touches at his back. What? Hey.
Wrecker, you see Colette kind of look over her shoulder at the moaning Otto, and she just kind of turns back to you and continues to it looks like she's made some sort of ointment, and she's mixed up and she's rubbing it on, or very lightly on your burns.
Otto gets to his knees and looks around, confused, his beard and hair soaking with rain, and What happened? Where are we?
You see the tower. It is in utter ruins. It has completely collapsed.
Yeah, he looks over his shoulder and doesn't even recognize it's the same place at first, right? Reinhold! He does see Reinhold as he looks back and kind of crawls over to him, kind of tries to shake him awake. Wake up, boy!
What? What happened?
I don't know. And he just kind of like, as he wakes up, kind of lets him go and kind of sits back and tries to touch at his back. It's damp, his shirt's stuck to his back and probably inside the claw wounds, right? Pulling it out. Ah! Looks over at Colette and sees Wrecker awake. What happened?
And you see Matthias kind of waking up as well. She said, I pulled you out in time. That's what happened. You're welcome.
And he doesn't even like kind of notice her attitude. He's in so much pain. He kind of like crawls over to the tree.
And Reinhold sort of works his way up gingerly and crawls over as well, get out of the rain. Did we beat the wizard?
She nods her head in the direction of the tower and she said, I don't see how anyone could have survived in there. He never came out. Just that flaming creature.
Well then, what next?
Next. Not much here for us now. I'm going to go west to a city, maybe the Crossings, start a new life. Somewhere where I'm not wanted for murder or whatever else they decide here happened.
Otto kind of looks at her and then looks at Wrecker and shakes his head. We must convalesce somewhere.
Well,
Matthias, who's been quiet all this while, his eyes are open, but he's very slow to get up, and he gets up, but he's still sitting. His back is to the tree under which Colette is taking care of Wrecker. The right side of his face is completely burnt. It's all just a mass of fused flesh. We could go to the Brotherhood. We can convalesce there in the sanctuary of the parish.
Oh, Otto just shakes his head. I don't think that's a good idea with Reinhold's abilities, and likely they think us witches or some such. That is what we were called before by the men in Filton.
Colette looks at Wrecker and says, will you come with me?
Wrecker is a hairy man by nature, but if y'all pause long enough to notice, he's not very hairy. He's like very pink and red. And it's obvious that he's been scorched heavily. But even despite his appearance, he still manages to show a semblance of strength. He looks and he's like, I think it's probably best if we all go our separate ways. You travel the lands to the west. I need someone to tend to my wounds. I do not think these two here would care to tend to another, only themselves. Perhaps I should go with you.
Colette looks at Otto and Reinhold, and she seems okay with that. Her appearance would indicate.
Otto gives Reinhold a short look and then turns back to Colette and Wrecker and kind of shrugs. Do what you want.
I shall.
I think it's good that we separate. Only draw more attention staying together.
Colette shrugs. She says, that suits me just fine. When Wrecker, you're ready, when you're able to leave, we'll go. I should be able to get a wagon from the village.
Look at Otto and say, Father. Now, you think you should give Wrecker some semblance of a severance package? He did help us faithfully for quite some time.
And now he's abandoning us.
Colette just smirks.
But I'll give you money. The money I still have left. And he pulls out let's say 4 gold. He probably has less than 20 left. And kind of like tosses it over towards Wrecker. And yes, woman, we killed your wizard for you. Thank you. You're welcome. I believe that's the words to be exchanged. Isn't that what you wanted?
I think we all wanted that, didn't we?
Not necessarily.
I think we all got much more than what we just simply wanted.
I don't know why you punched him straight away, Wrecker. That was foolish.
He scowls heavily. He's like, I would like to see you go one-on-one with him and the demon.
As I remember, you were all laying prostrate as I was fighting the demon by myself, so yes, I was the only one that did go one-on-one with that creature.
You were running, sticking to the shadows. No more braver than one of the hyena of the lands to the south.
Yes, yes. And you were on your belly before anybody could do anything.
And whose reason is it why I am here on my belly? It is not my wife. It is not my arrogance that got me tied up to some cult.
Colette's kind of gently tries to get you to lie back down, and she says, don't get yourself worked up. He's not worth it.
He, for now, is dismissive of her actions. He is worked up.
Otto just frowns.
Enough.
Yeah.
We all failed
Matthias
together.
is sitting right in the middle of this back and forth thing. You doing?
Yeah.
Matthias, we could go with you, or you could come with us. I haven't decided where we should go, but we probably should go west as well.
You both speak of the West. What lies there in the West? What could it have that we could make use of and make a living.
Civilization.
Yeah, most of the northern reach is to the west of here. There's not really much east or south, and certainly nothing north of here worth anything. You have to go over the river, which is fairly far away. And then you start getting into some of the settled areas.
Matthias looks to Colette and he says, "How far it is that you are going?"
I have family in the crossings, perhaps, if they're still around. I think that's where I'll probably go.
Well, may I suggest this? Wrecker needs to rest. He will not be able to take care of you on this journey.
Hmm.
We go together as a group. Once everyone's healthy, we decide then and part our ways, if need be. The downside is, and he kind of jerks his head towards Otto, you'll have to bear this man for a few more days.
I'm hurt just as bad as anyone else. Look at my back.
And Matthias looks at his back and he says, "Indeed, it does look bad. You must rest and not speak as much."
That would be a first, Colette mutters.
At least you can cover your scars, Father. I'll wear these for the rest of my life. I said scars on his face, all tore up, probably.
Yes. We would had followed the plan. And he just kind of breaks off into silence. And sits there kind of breathing. But yes, and finally he speaks up again. Going as a group, at least until we get to civilization. That is wise, no matter the disdain we may have for one another currently.
Record still looking annoyed. He actually stands to his feet despite the pain of his injuries. As he grunts loudly as he does, he's, "We may travel together, but each man and woman will carry their own fate." Looks heavily at Otto.
Perfect.
Well, Wrecker, I suggest you dress as well, not carry your own weight. The road is long. My understanding is correct. You need to heal.
I will do what I must. Seems we all have grim reminders of this day. You look down upon the scars and the wounds. Remember how you got them. Remember why you got them. He's still looking heavily at Otto, like he's placing blame on him.
He's staring back at Wrecker, kind of with the same look. Oh yes, I remember. I don't think I could forget.
He'll lean forward and put one hand heavily on Matthias' shoulder, and he goes, "And remember too, be wary of the newcomers and the relationships you make with people."
Indeed.
Almost as if he's trying to warn him against joining with Otto.
Mm-hmm. Matthias looks at Otto and at Wrecker and he says, "Indeed, These are desperate times, calling for desperate alliances.
Guys,
It does
I
not.
don't know if Darren can hear us.
I can.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
I didn't hear that last part though. Sorry, I got a phone call.
Oh, okay. Matthias says, these are desperate times. They call for desperate alliances. But I get what you mean, Wrecker. My eyes will be open.
Yes, just don't count on Wrecker to give you any battle advice for tactics. Going and punching someone you're trying to poison and starting a full-out combat. And he kind of gets up and winces as he does so. Kind of grabs, well, I assume if the bow is there, grabs it to kind of lean on it.
God's father, you act as though the stew was a good idea to begin with.
Is my weapon around?
Probably not. She did not try. She didn't drag your weapons out. She just dragged you out.
It's obvious he's looking for it.
Are you going to kill me?
He looks around again as if he can find it. He goes, "Not yet."
Rhino, if Wrecker gives me a evil look, use your magic on him.
Handle your own concerns.
Well spoken, boy. Nice to see somebody's rubbed off on you. Never be anyone's dog.
Very well, let's get going then.
Well, Colette says, well, Wrecker's not going anywhere right now.
Fine then, leave us here. Go your own way if you wish. When my wounds heal, I will escort this woman. This woman who's already lost more than enough in the form of a friend, all because of us.
She was a slave before we came along, and now she is free.
Freedom comes with a price. It always does.
That is true.
If my wounds are to heal properly, then I need not hear your tongue. All they do is agitate me and my condition worse.
Otto just kind of shrugs.
And Rhino will pat himself down, check around, and then we'll start hobbling towards the ruined tower.
All right. He finds his way there. It's very strange. The tower has collapsed, but there is no way that all of this rubble accounts for the entire tower. You would have expected a much larger pile.
It was all illusion.
Do I see the wizard's body or any of my belongings that I'm looking for anywhere?
You do not see his body. You start fishing through, and as you're fishing through, it's strange. The tower looks old and like it has been in this condition for decades, if not centuries.
Probably glamored it. That's weird. You do eventually see the dusty now cover of your
peeking out from between a couple of blocks. Broken stone.
Scoop it up and shuffle it into my bag.
It wants to be found.
Do another quick check looking around and then work my way back.
Okay.
Wrecker lies back and lets the pain get some. He tries to relax and he closes his eyes. And he's still breathing raspy, and then sudden realization comes upon him, so he flitters up again as if he's coming out of a dream, and he'll just go, Colette, the demon, did you see where it went?
She just points to the northeast.
Is that the direction of Shadowshade, right?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Otto gets this little grin, actually. He doesn't.
Crane his neck to look in the direction he's pointing, trying to judge if he's like, they're already dead. I'm already dead. They're dying. Hopefully, some of them got away. Loose the infernal creature on the world. Where's my blade? Getting defensive.
Colette says, Wrecker, don't be a fool.
You know how it is. You get those fussy patients in the hospital. They don't want to.
She says, your axe is gone. We'll get you a new one. For now, you must rest.
It looked like he's about to get angry with her, then wince and fall back into convalescing mode.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it sounds like you are all going to rest a bit and then make your way north and then west. Any special bits along the way?
Tensions between Wrecker and Otto will be growing. Wrecker's not going to be open about it, but he's going to be really withdrawn. And if Otto is the first to quip, like he's going to ask somebody to do something, like Wrecker, where's this? Wrecker, can we do that? No. He wants everybody to carry their own weight. So he will stubbornly fucking do his best to grin through the pain and trudge on.
Yeah, Otto tries to find something that would be a walking stick from the trees, something the right height, and uses it kind of as a crutch for himself. Even though he might be the least hurt out of everybody, besides Colette, obviously. But he's leaning on it heavily. He doesn't actually speak a whole lot as you're going. He seems to also be brooding. But he is not as talkative as normal.
Matthias has his hood pulled up all the way over his head, making sure that the right part of his face is covered. And it kind of adds a cooling touch with the rain falling on the hood and then kind of hitting his face, because it burns while otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
But he's silently walking, under his breath he's muttering a couple of prayers of gratitude and fortune to still survive, though he's not sure what lies ahead and what his mission should be now.
Yeah, he's kind of at a dead end at this point.
Mhm.
And Reinhold.
It's just the thing I mentioned to you already, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Sell my soul to Satan.
Right, yeah.
All right. You guys walk off into the sunset, as it were. And that would be the end of the season. I have a very short little season 2 teaser, assuming there is one, which I can share with you just to give you a little preview.
Mm-hmm.
King Otto is something about King Otto, I heard.
No, not quite. It is who knows how long later, and we are back at this ruined tower in the woods, and it's overgrown a little bit. And there are 3 men standing there, as you see them on the left or on the right of the picture. The 3
Mages,
men.
compatriots.
And you see, and there is the ghost of Zeldun, very unhappily risen up from the ruins. And this guy here is questioning him in low tones. And you see Zeldun struggling in some sort of willpower kind of fight with him, but surrendering answers. And then finally, the hooded man dismisses the ghost, and the young man on the left says, "Did he tell you what he knows?" And the man says, "The dead never want to give up their secrets, but he told me some interesting things." And he says, "Well, tell us then." And he says, "You know our arrangement. When we return to my estate and you have paid me in full, I'll share with you what I know." And you see the young man kind of reach behind his robe, and you see him, there's a dagger at his belt, and he's fingering it, and the older man kind of shakes his head at him, and he says, "Very well, it shall be as you demand. We will return to your estate, and you will tell us everything that he told us, word for word. Don't leave anything out. It is of vital importance." And he says, "I forget nothing." And he turns and walks away from the ruins, and the 2 men kind of look at each other, and the young man, you see fire in his eyes for a moment, and the older, fatter man puts his hand on his shoulder and says, "In due time, in due time." And the 2 of them follow after him. And that is it.
Nice.